What happened with the $20,000 properties in Venezuela? Today we discuss.
Welcome to Venezuela Insider, the only place in Venezuela for expats, digital nomads, entrepreneurs, investors, travelers, and related internationals. For more information, venezuelainsider.com.
You have seen the past few years on social media and so on websites and listings, some $20,000 apartments and houses and properties and so on. And you think, oh, Venezuela, the real estate market in Venezuela is very cheap. Well, actually, it's not exactly the case. First, let's understand the recent history of the Venezuelan real estate market. The mid of the 2010s, we were at the top of the market and the bottom was around late 2018. What happened is Venezuela, and I say this many times in order to understand macroeconomics, Venezuela suffered an 80% GDP collapse between the early 2010s until 2018. Actually, according to most economists, it's 2020, but I pinpoint the bottom of the collapse on 2018, and you can saw it on the streets back then. Well, what happened is that, of course, Venezuela is an oil economy, so the economy goes as the oil revenue goes. By the beginning of 2010s, Venezuela produced around 3 million barrels of crude oil per day. So over 2 million were for exportation. And that number, that 3 million, drastically was reduced to just a few 100,000 barrels per day. Right now, we are on the $700,000, $800,000 mark of oil production. You have to combine that. Back then, you had these 3 million barrels of crude oil, and also you had the economy was a little bit better. Salaries were terrible back then, and right now are awful. Back then, getting a good salary was very difficult. I'm talking 2009, 2010, 2011. However, the economy still, the local economy was doing some good things, kind of. Anyways, you also had access to mortgages and credit market that is pretty much not existent at the moment on 2023. So back then, you had an overpriced real estate market. And that market crashed on between 2016 and 2018. And then the migration was awful. Back then was around 5 million migrants, Venezuelan migrants all over the world. Right now we are a little bit over 7 million migrants that are all over the world. So many people were selling their homes because they're leaving the country, and also because something that you have to understand is, unlike, for instance, the United States, when most people live renting the places where they live, in Venezuela it's not the case because most Venezuelans don't have the sufficient income in order to lease an apartment, a house, so paying a mortgage or paying a rent. And the few people who can actually afford to rent a place, they straight up own their own homes. So on that case, the market is not for renters. The bottom of the market was, like I said, 2018. So back then, with $20,000, you can actually get a decent property on a good city, on a good location. However, remember the real estate, one of the mantras is location, location, location. And not all of the markets are the same. There is just a handful of markets that are sufficiently valuable in order to invest for the midterm, to say the least. Right now, on social media, if you're a Western and international, you're seeing properties on $20,000 that actually are not good properties. If you purchase such properties, you probably will end up losing money or waiting for a very, very long time. Something that I have to explain as well is that you are not going to get rich buying real estate in Venezuela. The Venezuelan real estate market is not like buying Dogecoin, cryptocurrency, buying YOLO stocks like the GameStop and the AMC thing, buying Bitcoin or buying NFTs, stuff like that. So you are not going to get rich. What can end up happening on the next 5, 10, 20 years, so you have to have a very long time frame, is that, of course, the country is going to grow back. Remember, this is not a poor country. This is an impoverished country, and it's a very big difference because this country is rich on natural resources and also beautiful. It has a great location. And Venezuela historically had great standards of living for Latin American standards. This past, let's say, 10, 15 years had been a hiccup on the average situation of Venezuela. Of course, Venezuela is not, it's not like Switzerland or Singapore, stuff like that. Probably that's not going to happen. However, it's not this little poor place in Latin America or a sub-Saharan economy that is very dirt poor and dirt cheap. So if you're thinking that, you are probably going to be mistaken regarding the decision making in Venezuela. Now, you can, I'll say $25,000, $30,000, you can get a decent property on a decent location on a city where you see some economic movement. So it's not like you can pinpoint at any given place, at any given city in Venezuela, and you're going to buy a beautiful property or a very nice, good investing property with just a few tens of thousands of dollars. Also, I have to remember you that we don't have a mortgage market. That is what a good thing and a bad thing. The good thing, though, is that you're not going to see a collapse on real estate market prices in Venezuela like you saw, for instance, on 2008, on the GFC, with the mortgage-backed securities and so on. So watch The Big Short if you want to learn more about it. So you're not going to have the collapse. However, the average Venezuelan doesn't have access to credit, to mortgage credit, so they cannot purchase a home just getting a credit. Especially if you're from abroad, it's impossible that you're going to get a mortgage in order to buy a property. They have to explain that with $20,000, $30,000, you are not going to get a beautiful lavishing property. You're not going to get a mansion or anything like that with the beautiful kitchen countertops and a pool and so on. You're going to get a small apartment, a small house, something of that order. The beautiful properties, the mansions that we have on the country, or a lavishing penthouse or a place like that, you are going to get it with, depending on the location, with $200,000, $300,000, $500,000. And we have properties that cost millions of dollars, that of course are beautiful mansions and so on. And also, I have to remember you that the gringo prices phenomena that you see, for instance, in Mexico and Colombia, also in Eastern Europe and many places all over the world, you're not going to see in Venezuela. When you see a gringo price, it's not that you are being charged a premium for the sake of you just being an international. We ourselves, Venezuelans, we get the gringo prices because the market is not catered towards internationals. The market is catered towards high-end, high-income, wealthy Venezuelans, and the hefty gringo prices, the premium market price, is for them. And every Venezuelan, if they want to purchase a property or an asset, whatever may be the case, they're going to get the gringo price as well. And of course, if you come from abroad, you're going to get the gringo price, but not for the sheer fact that you are a quote-unquote gringo. It's because if you decide to participate on the market, there is a lot of speculation, a lot of premiums involved, and that's why you can get confused. And lastly, another thing that I have to mention is that please don't rely on real estate listings in Venezuela because they are very misleading. Usually, those prices are very old. I'm talking the good prices are very old, like 4 years ago or so, or they are mispriced on purpose in order to get some leads, in order to get some phone calls and so on, and possible new clients.
Thank you for watching Venezuela Insider. Please like, share, and subscribe. Follow us on social media. If you want to work with us, VenezuelaInsider.com. Thanks again and have a nice day.